I have really been sitting on just kind of like a rediscovery of like why I'm even doing like a lot of the things that I'm doing. And so I wanted to I wanted to open this up for everybody to start kind of looking at that. And especially with you ladies who just started, this is a really, 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 really valuable lesson to take away. Because yeah, we want to lose weight. Yeah, we want to feel sexy in our clothes. Yeah, we want to feel confident. Like all of those things are great, but there's always an underlying, there's a reason for that. There's always something deeper rooted. And if we can get to the root of that, then it changes everything because our focus then takes is taken off of the surface level things, and then we can really draw from that place of deep, some place that's deeper rooted. So today we're not talking about workouts, we're not talking about macros, we're going to go straight to the root, straight to the why. Because what I have learned is that if your why is weak, then 9 times out of 10 your excuses will win. And so, if you've ever wondered like why you start off strong with something, but then a little struggle will happen, you can't stay consistent, like this is why. It's because you're chasing the results. You're so fixated on the outcome that you lose the purpose for wanting the outcome in it all. Because there's a hustle and bustle, and then there's life, and then there's work, and then there's family, and then there's all the things, right? So, but if you're chasing those results without reason, then nothing will ever really actually change. Results change when your reasons are lasting reasons. So that's really what I want to get into. I want everybody to really start thinking on this. We're going to uncover the reason behind everyone's goals, the reasons that keep you in momentum, that keep you moving, that keep you moving toward that goal when your motivation fades. Because I hear that like I need motivation all the time. And yeah, but motivation's a feeling, just like everything else. Motivation is a feeling, and it's going to come and it's going to go. Just like sometimes I'm happy, sometimes I'm sad. Like literally, it's like you just ride the wave. But that's where when we connect your reason to your habits, that's where the miracles begin to really happen. That's where everything really starts to take place because that is what locks you in when your motivation fades. So I did put an anchor scripture in this. Philippians 3:14 says, I press on toward the goal to win the prize for which God has called me heavenward in Christ Jesus. And so you can't you can't press forward if you don't know what you're pressing for. Think about that. What are you pressing for? So, what is your why? What is your why? Think about it. Your why is the emotional and or spiritual reason why you want transformation. That's what it is. Your why is the emotional and or spiritual reason you want transformation. This is not just what you want, but why it matters that you want that. So when I talk to most people, like every single woman that I get on a call with, I want to lose weight. I want to feel confident. I want to look sexy in my clothes. I want to be more consistent. But those are all great things, but those are all surface. All of them, surface level. Your why goes deeper. So this is a method that I like to go through. Just get my notes here. That I like to go through because this helps you. It's a layer. It's layering. Okay. So kind of like if you've ever been around a 2-year-old, that's always why? Well, why is the sky blue? Well, because God made it like, well, why did he make it that way? Well, I don't know. I thought he'd think it was pretty. Well, why is it pretty like that? Well, I don't know. Like, gotta dig these things out. It's the why. So This is a 5-layer method that I like to do. First off, we begin to ask ourselves these questions. Why do you want to get healthier? Okay, I want to get healthier for whatever reason, for my family. Okay, well, why does that matter? So that I can keep up with my kids and I don't have to be a sideline mom anymore. Okay, well, why does that matter? Because I don't want my kids to remember me as somebody who wasn't involved. Okay, why is it important to your future and or your calling? So these are all different methods, right? We were pulling this out. Okay, why is it important to your future and your calling? Because my children are going to repeat the same things that I do. They're going to do the same things that I do. And what would it cost you and those you love if nothing changes? So this is how we're going to get down to the deeper level of things. So I believe you guys have this in your handout. Take a look at it. Give me a thumbs up if you have this in your handout, the layer method. Okay. So these are things that we have to start asking ourselves. And this can go for anything. Like if you say, so for example, a lot of times when somebody says, I want to lose weight. Okay, why do you want to lose weight? Because I want to feel confident in my clothes. Okay, well, why does that matter to you that you feel confident? I feel like I'm not fulfilling everything that I can to the best of my ability because I'm not confident. Okay, well, why does that matter? Do you see what I'm saying? We just start getting down to the layers. So I want you to look at your original goal, whatever it was that you said. I want to get to this goal. Um, for some of us, it was just weight loss. Some of us it's a confidence thing. But I want you to take that goal and I want you to say, why does it matter? Okay, well, why does it matter that is why it matters? Okay, so now why is that important for your future? Why is that important for your calling? And what would it cost you? Usually by the fifth why, because you really could just keep saying why. It doesn't even have to be these exact questions. You could literally just keep saying why until you uncover what's really going on. Usually by the fifth one, the real truth begins to surface. Because it's really, really, really never about the scale. Ever. It's about freedom, confidence, healing, and stewardship. Stewardship. Your why is what's going to connect you to your habits, which connect you to your healing, not the other way around. A lot of people are like, well, if I change my habits, then I can heal, and then that will create. It's not that way. Your why will connect you to your habits, which will then bring your healing. And so I'm just gonna, somebody else is popping in right now, so I'm just gonna go over this really, really, really quick one more time. So when we have our why, when you have your reason for changing, this is your goal. You have to begin to dig out the why. Why do you want to lose weight? Why is it important to lose weight? Why does it matter? Why is this important for your future? All of these things matter. Rachel, go ahead and turn on your camera, please. Romans 12:1 says, offer your body as a living sacrifice. I use a lot of these same scriptures because they are so, so powerful, especially along this journey. So if you ever hear me repeating the same scriptures, you guys write them down and put them somewhere you will see, because these are super powerful for this journey. So offer your body as a living sacrifice, holy and pleasing to God. This is true and proper worship. When your body and your choices are surrendered, they become worship. And then this changes from being work to something that's a lot easier and smoother. Because it's not work when you get to do it with a grateful spirit. Here are some common things. Sometimes when we do this 5-layer method, it can be difficult to pull it out. And so that's when, okay, let's talk about why this is hard. A lot of women struggle to uncover their why because of a few different things. Number one, because they're disconnected from themselves. Number two, because they've let the world define their success, what success looks like. And number three, because they're too focused on what they've lost instead of what they're becoming. These are common blocks that I see personally. And so we have to identify. So if you are struggling, when you start to uncover this why, if you find yourself in a place where you're like, it's not clicking. I don't know what's going on. You're being blocked. This is a common tactic from the enemy to block you. Because if he can disconnect you from your why, then he can disconnect you from understanding your purpose. Think about it. Everything that we do has to come from a place of what is the purpose for this? What is my why? What is my deeper understanding of who I am? Where do your goals come from? Are they coming from a place of comparison? Are they coming from a place of um or are they coming from a place of conviction? Because there's a big difference. Are they coming from a place of condemnation? So if we look at those two words, conviction and condemnation specifically, they look like the same thing from the outside, but in all reality, when you flip them over and you look underneath, they are complete opposites. Because one comes from a place of condemnation and conviction, or condemnation and comparison, that they're going to come from a darker place. This comes from guilt. This comes from shame. This comes from blaming. This comes from looking at how everybody else is looking, and I'm over here looking like this, and I can't believe I've let myself get this far away from where I want to be, or can't believe I've let my health decline so much. That is a place of shame. Where conviction says, okay, I understand that I have not taken good care of my body, and it's time for me to change. And I'm doing this out of a place where I realize that I do care. I do care about my body. So they can look like the same thing from the outside. But if you flip them over, they're not. So you have to ask yourself that. Where are your goals coming from? Which side? One is straight up from the devil himself, and the other is from God. Because what does it say okay, so let's take it for example. Like with my children, I discipline them and I correct them, but I always correct them in love because I want them to excel. I want them to be successful. I never would shame them or scream at them or make them feel small or stupid for not understanding something or for not getting it right away. And so we have to hear what voices are speaking to us. Is it the voice that makes us feel small, belittled, shameful? Or is it the voice that is uplifting, loving, leading, but also turning our heart toward what we're supposed to be doing? Because those voices matter. So, what voices have shaped your definition of success? For me, I used to be a girl of comparison, almost like I kind of used to think it was healthy. Like, and I do think there is a healthy level of comparison in a sense, and in essence, I think that when we look at women who have been where we've been, and we go, okay, if she's been where I've been and she's gotten as far as she's gotten, I think that I can do it too. It's not a comparison where I'm looking and I'm like, ugh, she looks so good and I look like this. Do you see what I'm saying? there can be a healthy level of comparison. We're like, okay, if she can get there, I can get there because she looks amazing. I'm not there yet, but I can get there. So there's a healthy level of comparison. Don't get me wrong. But what has defined your success? What voices have shaped that for you? Because I used to do that, where I would look at other women who looked just amazing, and I was like, ain't no way I'm ever gonna look like that. And in my head, I had already sold myself self short. I had already counted myself out. My own voice. That was my own voice. But the world, if you look at it, growing up as a millennial, we grew up with the Paris Hiltons and the Mary-Kate and Ashleys and the Britney Spears who was like crazy. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like everybody it was all about being skinny, bulimia culture. Like it was all about being just like, it was the top models. And that is what was pushed in our faces. Oh, we're not eating ever. Like, I'm never gonna look like that. I ain't built that way. We some thick chicks up in here. But those are the voices of society. So you have to ask yourself that too. What voices in society am I listening to that say I'm supposed to be this or that? John 10:10 says the thief comes only to steal, kill, and destroy. So that's the voice that wants to take that from you, is that condemnation voice. But I have come that you may have life and have it abundantly. And that's that other voice, the conviction that draws you. So your why, whatever it is, should give you life. It should not drain you. If it's rooted in guilt or shame or anything like that, then it's got to go. That sucker's got to be uprooted, ripped out because it's not from God. 100%. So I want everyone to really start doing some digging, because when I started, the reason I started was because I hated my body. And I say that with just like, it was a loathing. Like I would look at myself in the mirror and be like, ugh, disgusting. That's the kind of like language that I was speaking over me. And that's even if I was looking in the mirror. Or I remember I would do my makeup and I literally would say this out loud. And I remember saying it out loud so often. That's probably why it's seared in my brain. I would put my makeup on. I'd be like, well, at least I'm pretty. Literally. At least I'm pretty. And so when I started training, it was all rooted in hate, in a self-loathing. And that 100% affected me. There was no amount of exercise, there was no amount of clean eating, there was no amount of tracking food that was ever going to heal what was going on in me. Because my why was rooted in hate. It was rooted in shame, in guilt, in pain. And it was so hard to stay consistent. Because I hated the journey. I didn't like the journey because it was punishing myself, because my mind was punishing myself, because my words were punishing myself. I hated the journey. I didn't like exercising. I didn't like starving myself and then eating clean and then binging and then all the things. I could not break those cycles, even when I began, because my why was not rooted where it needed to be. It was rooted in all of the wrong places. It wasn't until I surrendered this over that I was able to completely shift it, completely change. Girl, I love this. There isn't a thing about the journey that I don't love. Some of it feels a little monotonous at times. I hate getting into like doing like the tedious things for me. Like I need a new, I'm a visionary, so I need a new project all the time. Like, just give me a new project and I'll be happy. But so the tedious things can be a little, bleh. But the thing is that I love every part of this. I love learning new things. I love being able to go to the gym is it's my psych ward, y'all. It's keeping me sane. Honestly, it is keeping me sane. It's more about mental health than anything else. Yeah, I'm starting to see some muscles pop, and so I'm like, oh, okay, it's working. But it's about my brain. It's about what I go through every single day that I could not go through without the gym. I have two non-negotiables every single day, and that is that I spend time with the Lord and that I go to the gym. Because if I ain't got those two things, we gonna have some issues. We gonna have some issues. Issues. Big ones. So my why has changed. And my why is not necessarily going to be the same as yours. But for me, it's about integrity because I teach this, because I am a coach, because um, I teach on mental health and physical health and spiritual health um, and it's about integrity for me. My why has changed to a lot. It's about those who are watching me now. And it hasn't always been that way. I mean, it started out as, well, this 100% is worship. Okay, that is big why for me, is because everything I do is an act of worship. So for me, that's my number one. But coming right up against it is because of you guys. Everything I do, everybody's watching. And I want to be integritous. Like if you were to follow me around for 24 hours, would you succeed doing the same things that I'm doing every day? That matters to me. That matters to me. So that's why. That's my why. So I want everyone to spend some time on this. I want you to really dig, really dig. Pick your first goal, whatever it was that we talked about. I want to lose 20 pounds. I want to do whatever it was. Whatever your first goal was, I want you to start there. And I want you to dig out from there. Dig it out from there. Because I want you to see the progression of it. Because, yeah, you'll lose 20 pounds. Yeah, you'll get your body goal. Yeah, you'll feel more confident in clothes. Yeah, you'll stop crying in the dressing room all the time. I use that one because that was mine. Yeah, those things will happen. But the only way you're going to be able to stay on that path with joy, and with purpose is if you know the deeper meaning for it all. It matters. It matters a lot. It's really important. So, we are not chasing results. We're chasing reasons. Okay? We're digging after those and we're chasing those reasons. That is really where that's where it's all going to come from. So remember, why? 5 whys. Ask yourself. Okay? So this is what I want. Because your why is going to anchor you when everything is chaotic, when motivation is gone, when all the things, when life hits you, it's going to remind you the reason behind not quitting. It's going to remind you that quitting is not an option. So, this is what my challenge for everybody this week. Write down your why, read it every morning. Oh, dig out your why first. Dig out your why. And I want you to start with your very most surface level goal, okay? And then dig it out. Write it down. Read it every morning. Every morning. I sticky notes. Sticky notes, sticky notes, sticky notes. Sticky note your mirror. I actually use a dry erase marker on my mirror, which gets wiped off every time I clean it. I actually will wait to clean my mirror because I've got certain things on there I'm not done reading. So my mirror will just be trash, toothpaste and all the things, fingerprints from kids. But I want you to read it every morning And then I want you to live it in your choices, even in the small ones. And be reminded of every time you're like, "Ugh, I don't want to track my food." Well, pull out that why. Pull out that why. A lot of times when we get into a place where we're like, ugh, I don't want to do this anymore, we start kind of like looking like, oh, maybe I need a new plan. Maybe it's not, maybe I'm not, because we hate facing that. Like maybe it's not me. Maybe it's the fact that what I'm doing isn't working. Let me just be real with you. It's not the plan. It's the reason. So find your why, write it down, and we will rock it out. Okay? Does